NBA today. We have a developing story today in the basketball world. Bronny James, the eldest son of Lakers star LeBron James, suffered a cardiac arrest Monday and is in stable condition. And the James family spokesperson released the following statement saying, quote, "Yesterday while practicing, Bronny James suffered a cardiac arrest, and medical staff was able to treat Bronny and take him to the hospital. He is now in stable condition and no longer in the ICU. We ask for respect and privacy for the James family, and we will update media when there is information available." LeBron and Savannah wish to publicly send their deepest thanks and appreciation to the USC medical staff and athletic staff for their incredible work and dedication to the safety of their athletes.
Welcome in, guys. Local John 1812 with a additional talk show / podcast called There's Life and then There's Sports. It didn't work out too good. I just threw them off to the side. So I've been trying to get down this path of creating different new avenues that I really like for myself, for my channel, besides just food reviews. Camera Mom and I started doing a podcast we upload on Sundays. We just recently uploaded one a few days ago, like I think on a Thursday, to update the Carly Russell situation. And we found out she's lying. But needless to say, we might do another update coming up on Sunday for that podcast. But this particular podcast, so make sure you're hitting that bell so you know when we're uploading. And you'll be able to see this particular podcast and others. But this particular one, you saw from the thumbnail, this is a serious one about life and sports here. Bronny James, son of LeBron James, had cardiac arrest and fell to the ground during practice. He plays basketball for USC, and ironically enough, this is not the first time this has occurred for USC, including last season. One of their freshman forwards, Vince Lukaku, if that's how you pronounce it, sorry for mispronouncing your last name, suffered a cardiac arrest situation. And everybody's began to speculate, but before we speculate, let's just let the video play out. This was from ESPN today, one of their NBA shows. Check it out here.
Important to distinguish, this is not a heart attack. This is something completely different. And again, it calls to mind just how important it is to learn bystander CPR and the use of one of those AED defibrillators.
That we're talking about a healthy 18-year-old young man. How often does this happen?
Well, remember, I think part of the reason people are surprised when they hear cardiac arrest is they think heart attack. Remember, when you're talking about this population, competitive elite athletes, it is uncommon. We see about 100 to 150 cases of sudden cardiac arrest in these younger athletes in this country every year. That's obviously uncommon, but if that's your child, all it takes is one. So I think that it's important to distinguish, this is not a heart attack. This is something completely different. And again, it calls to mind just how important it is to learn bystander CPR and the use of one of those AED defibrillators.
I think the most important thing here, Dr. Ashton, is Bronny's health, his return to normalcy. You mentioned Damar Hamlin a little bit earlier. He's one of many athletes who lent his voice in support, tweeting about Bronny James, wishing him a speedy recovery and saying that he's there for you guys as they come through all of this. But can you just explain for an athlete, what does the recovery and ultimately the likelihood to return to sports look like after a patient has suffered from a cardiac arrest?
Well, first, the mental component, and I've spoken to Damar Hamlin. I've gotten the honor and privilege to get to know him a little bit. He's an incredible individual, but the psychological, mental, and emotional recovery after someone goes through this in some ways can be more significant than the physical one. Standard procedure really physically is to monitor and or manage someone in the acute period of time following an out-of-hospital cardiac arrest in an intensive care unit setting. That's to make sure that neurologically, cardiovascularly, their respiratory system, liver function, kidney function, all organ systems are secure and stable. And then, they don't just get sent home from the hospital, they're monitored in an in-hospital setting, and then we have to try to figure out why the cardiac arrest happened, and that will then determine someone's return to play eligibility.
And, as of right now, he's out of ICU, and so that's a good thing. Going forward, I can just tell that there's going to be numerous mental obstacles and stuff you have to get over after experiencing something like that. I've never experienced anything like that, but we know, like in the case of last football season, as I am wearing my Kansas City Chiefs championship shirt, but as we can say from last season with Hamlin show, he reaches out to Bronny James in this situation. So it's really a scary situation that this can occur. We know that Dernar Hamlin was hit, and that caused his situation to occur. And we do not know the full details or anything of that nature just yet with Bronny James. And of course, over time that will come out. But there's a lot of speculation on if it has to do with something, maybe in USC standards, are they pushing their players too much? I mean, you having back-to-back players each year having something go wrong with them in a practice or in a game situation or drills or whatever that may be. But in these situations, both basketball players, both cardiac arrest. But needless to say, it doesn't have to be on USC or how hard they're pushing their players. It could just be something within the players. There could be some issues going on there that maybe they didn't even know about, and it's just a coincidence. But also there's some other stipulations out there, and I won't say what it is, but let's just say there was a certain situation going around a few years back and still continues throughout our cycle now, and it was fairly new, and people needed something to help watch out for that fairly new thing, and some people took that item that would help them, or maybe not help them. I'm not here to say if you should have or you should have not, and I don't know if any speculation is true that belongs in this story or not, but I would say without a doubt there could be some correlation here. But there's been other articles and stuff that I read that you don't know if they're completely 100% factual or just opinionated, but there's been some talks about that particular situation, and the question becomes, even with someone, I think it was Jamie Foxx, I believe, I don't know if that was cardiac arrest or stroke, but people are just trying to jump to that, and I don't know if that is the case, but if it has something, any merit at all, you hope that maybe someone in that type of spotlight could step forward, especially in this situation, or any other situation where the people with a bigger voice could say something. But that's if that's going on. We don't know as a society or as sports fans if that is what's going on, or is it just numerous factors of different things. I do find it once again, very coincidental that it's USC basketball players back to back, both cardiac arrest, one right after the other. So what's going on there? And we've just had a lot of other stories about this. So I'd say, hey, you got young ones at home. They're playing ball, basketball, football. Basically, it don't matter what sport they're playing. Watch over them. Really notice any symptoms they're talking about with any of this up here at all in their chest or any parts of their body. Really, just if they're having issues, just really pay attention to it nowadays with all the different variations of things that are going around, and just the way how people maybe overexert themselves nowadays or something, and they just don't pay attention as much. But we've put a lot of parameters up and stuff, but I think it's just one parameter we forget sometimes is just our own visual eyes and just kind of common sense. So keep that in mind. I'm just going to reach out and just say I'm praying for Bronny James, LeBron James' son, and his family, all of them over there. This is beyond life. This is where we have the Life and Basketball podcast, and as you can see, this situation topic, really goes more with life than the sports. But as you can see with the video playing and stuff, we have, glimpses of Bronny and what he's capable of, and we're hoping and praying that this young man is going to be all right and that he'll be able to make a speedy recovery within a good time frame for himself, but to heal mentally and physically and spiritually, and be back out there on the court. And I don't know Bronny James's life with his family and how they are, but I hope they accept my thoughts and prayer for them as just nothing but good vibes. And so as far as the speculation of what I think could be occurring, since it's multiple different sports and a lot of younger people in college and other areas that this is occurring to, is there something else going on medically that doctors are not noticing in these checkups and all these sports physicals? Could it be a lingering effect from, a previous situation we had? And y'all know we can't say the word because it gets, you get a strike, you get penalized. So you guys understand what I'm saying? A previous ailment, that we were dealing with. Is it some long-lasting effects of that? Is it anything that we have done to ourselves to help prevent that, or any other situation for any other symptoms of any other thing out there? It could be numerous different variations of viruses and that type of stuff, and we just hope that it's not that. But if it is, our doctor's really taking a look into it. What's going on? So those are my thoughts on it. I'm just going to pray for Bronny James and that and his family, and also too USC coaching staff, and to have to deal with a player last year and a player this year now. My gosh, I just don't know what they're going to do. But I hope they wrap their head around it. They come up with a great plan. They're there for the players. And I've never heard anything different from USC. I'm a Kentucky fan, but never heard anything really negative about USC. So hopefully they figure it out. Bronny James will be back on the court for him this year, and he'll make an impact for him, and that'll be great. Just be good to see college basketball have some really good teams this year and stuff. So going forward with there's life and then there's basketball, or there's life and there's sports podcast going forward. We're going to do multiple other style stories. This one here just caught my eye. It's fresh on everyone's radar, and so I just wanted to speak on it and what I thought. And so I hope you guys enjoyed this podcast. We're going to continue, or just maybe just videos about sports. I don't know if I want to call it a podcast. I don't know, but we're going to continue to upload these. So I hope you guys enjoy this. We're going to do sports. We may do politics and other stuff. We may do just general life stories, kind of like what we were doing with the Carly Russell story. So all that is what we're going to be trying to lead into. So hope you guys enjoyed this video. Don't forget to like, subscribe, comment, share. Until next time, guys, be safe. Praying for Bronny James and his family for a safe return to the court or just to life, whatever it may be, but safe. Peace.